On this date, September 7th, 2024, and August 7th, 2024, we are in the community center, Assan, and this is Assan Mayor's Council. And thank you very much, please. Roll call, please.
Roll call, Marque. Neil Salas,
Present.
Jackson Doko,
Present.
Maria Cruz, I'm here. Marianne Cruz, not here. Peter Cruz, not here. Francis Cabana, here. Dave Benegusen, not here. Gloria Mendola, here. Anita Kane, not here. Monica Kane, not here. However, we do have a forum. Yes.
Okay, so as you all know that we have this public hearing for the Diamond G and Diamond K, and this can be published to YouTube. So right now we're in live, and it's a law that we need to have this thing to the meeting, Mr.
It's sweet.
Yes.
Right.
Sir, you want to continue?
Okay. Thank you, Mayor. My name is Dan Swavely, and I'm joined by my associate, Mr. Kyle Warhawk. I want to thank the Mayor and your talented and hospitable staff for arranging the venue and your hospitality this evening. Kyle and I are representing, technically, Pacific International Law, better known as the Kramers here in Assan. Yeah. They operate the Diamond K wholesale business at the south end of that concrete structure. Melissa Kramer is the manager of the operation. She was with us at the first public hearing. I'm hoping she can join us tonight too. She's joined. If not, she'll be here for our next public hearing for sure. While wholesaling operations have been occurring at that building for the last 20 plus years, the Kramers bought it in 2009. And what the Kramers do is a wholesaling business in which they bring in goods and products. They purchase goods and products from the producers, and then they put it in their wholesaling business, and then they on-sell it to small stores, Kmart, places like that. Plus, the Kramers actually have roots in Majuro, and they also ship them to Majuro. That's what wholesaling is all about. The types of products they deal with are building supplies, construction supplies, equipment, vehicles sometimes, beauty supplies, the things you would normally find in the store. And they sell them to, like I say, small stores and other retailers. The company now employs 7 staff. Currently none are from Assan. There have been Assan residents employed there before. Currently none, but 7 in all. And my agenda this evening is going to address questions, and Kyle has them here on the screen. Why are we here? What is proposed? Your questions and comments, and what happens next. And I will run through this as quickly and aimlessly as possible. As the mayor said, one of the reasons, the main reason we're here is that law requires a change of zone application that goes before the Guam Land Use Commission to have 4 public hearings. The first public hearing is conducted and sponsored by the Department of Land Management. We had that a few weeks ago here. Then there are 2 required public hearings to be sponsored by the Municipal Planning Council. This is number 1. Yeah. The 4th and last public hearing, sometimes the last, is at the Guam Land Use Commission itself. They meet the second and fourth Thursday of every month. And that would be the last public hearing. That's the time that they review everything. the Department of Land Management staff give their report, their recommendations, and they generally make a decision. Sometimes I have to go back 2 or 3 times to the Guam Land Use Commission. But I doubt that will happen here. So this is hearing number 2. There'll be 2 more after this, yeah. And the reason why we have to go to the Guam Land Use Commission is because on Guam, all private property is zoned, yeah? We have R1 zone, single family only. R2 zone, apartments and condominiums, multi-family, right? Commercial zone, yeah, gas stations and stores and things like that. This property, the Kramer property, and I'll refer to Diamond K, Pacific International's Kramer. The Kramer property is zoned commercial. In commercial zone, like I said, many things are allowed, including wholesaling, and that's what's been occurring there the last 20-some years. Kramers would like to add to wholesaling warehousing as well. Now, warehousing is not permitted in a commercial zone. It's an idiosyncrasy, frankly, of Guam zoning code. I know of no other zoning code that warehousing is not part of the commercial zone. On Guam, it's not. So this means that the Kramers cannot expand their wholesaling business to include warehousing unless the zone is changed to allow warehousing. Yeah. Now, why do the Kramers want to add warehousing to their wholesaling business? It's generally this. It's business driven. We have all seen that since COVID, we have problems sourcing materials and products. We have supply chain disruptions all the time, right? We hear it all the time. That's a ship is late, first president lines ship, da 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 da. So what the Kramers are thinking is, and it's true, if they can combine warehousing with their wholesaling, they can get products into that warehouse that they don't have to buy. They don't have, wholesaling, you have to own it. But if it's warehousing, they don't have to buy it. So they can bring in more products from producers and more of it and store it there. Meaning what? Meaning they can be more responsive to Guam's market demand.
More centralized.
That's right, more centralized and more products, right? And so Kramer doesn't have to own all the products in there in order to on-sell them to retail stores. And it's good for everybody. I mean, if they can be more responsive to Guam's market demand, basically it's good for all of us. In fact, wholesaling and warehousing on Guam are really intertwined. For example, every 5 or so years, Guam participates in an economic census. The last one for which we have data is 2017. Now that's a long time ago. There was another one done in 2020-23, but the data aren't available yet. But in 2023, there were 227 warehousing business licenses. Okay, 227. So they had employees of a little under 3,000 with an annual payroll of $87 million. It's a big deal. That's wholesale, just wholesaling, that's all it is. Now, with regard to warehousing, the Guam Economic Census doesn't even separate warehousing as a special industry. It lumps it with transportation, okay? Of course, every warehouse depends on transportation, right? Things in, things out. So in that economic census, there was transportation and warehousing. There were 93 such business licenses. Showing that there are a lot of them, but not as many as wholesale. Yeah. And with employees of a little less than 3,000, but a payroll of over $100 million a year. So all in all, warehousing and wholesaling go hand in hand. In fact, most of the wholesaling companies are associated with warehouses now, right? So one thing that Kramer can do is elevate its game to be a better business partner to the Guam market if it can include warehousing with its wholesale. At the end of the day, it's gonna look and smell and act the same way. You're gonna have a building there where trucks and vans will come in and trucks and vans will go out. That's not gonna change. The only thing that will really change is that all the goods that are being brought in are not necessarily owned by Kramer. They could be owned by others on consignment to Kramer, and then they can on sell. Also, Kramer can lease part of its warehouse to somebody else to do the same thing, bring in goods and on sell them to others. That's what this is all about. We're trying to expand the operations of the Kramer Diamond K structure to better serve the global market. That's basically what this change of zone will do for us. Yeah. Now, let me go on to some photographs. Thank you. That's the building. I think we all pretty much are familiar with that. What else do we have there, Kyle? Ah, yes, there is the vicinity map. Forgot my pointer. Number one, right there, across from the park, along Joaquin Issa Street and Marine Corps Drive is the property. We have nothing will really change with respect to the ingress and egress of the property. It will be the same. We do have a master plan, which is required by Guam Land Use Commission. We have the ingress and egress, and we have another one down here. We are showing, here's the building as it exists. We are showing a proposed smaller warehouse building in the back. Why? Frankly, the property is big enough to accommodate another smaller building without any variances. It meets the height and setback and the density. So we put it in there just in case business expands so much that it would be good to have a little more space. We don't have a date for that, you know. I mean, that's in the future, but that's what this is about. Frankly, we could have rezoned all this, and I could have gone to building permits with a set of design plans for that second building without ever even showing it anywhere else. But I hate surprises, and I'm pretty sure everybody else hates surprises. I know every mayor I know hates surprises. So there is a possibility of us doing another small, only 20 feet high, and as you can see the proportion is much less. This is 16,000 square feet. The proposed would be less than 7,000 square feet. Putting it there just so transparent with everything that Kramer might like to look at in the future. Yeah.
I have a question, is that, so you're just using your property to
Correct.
build a, to get a permit for a warehouse, and for future planning, it's not, you know, it's just in the planning, right? How, and it's, that's one story or two?
2 stories.
2 stories?
Well, you know, warehouse, yeah, it's 2 stories. Yeah, I think we have 20 feet high. 20 foot high warehouse, basically 2 stories. Yeah. When you're in the wholesale business, you need a lot of shelves and places to store products, right? I also do warehouses for construction companies. We do not have 2 stories in construction companies, right? Because in construction companies, we put equipment, you know, and large supplies, the kind of supplies that are heavy. It needs a big forklift, sometimes a crane to get them in and out. So construction company warehouses are usually 20 feet high, but not 2 stories with a mezzanine. But here, yes. These are products, as I mentioned, beauty supplies, and construction, and things like that. Yeah.
They're actually wholesalers that they're becoming a distributor for other.
That's right. That's right. See, this is the difference between wholesaling and warehousing. Warehousing allows you to be the distributor for products that you don't actually own in your warehouse. Wholesale, you gotta own. Okay, I'm buying this, I'm bringing it in, and I want something. Right? And that works for a lot of companies. And it worked just fine between 2009 and COVID, frankly, when the Kramers were doing this. But since COVID, what we've learned is, man, we need 25 of these a month. And we used to be able to bring them in 25 at a time, right? Or maybe now, because of the disrupted supply chain, now maybe we have to bring in 100 at a time, right? And that's very expensive. So what Kramers are trying to do is say, okay, I don't have to buy them all to store them all and have them on the shelf at Kmart when people look. That's really the business background to it all. That's a little deeper than I normally get in these conversations, but thank you for the question. So that's the master plan. That's the reason why we're here. The next part is your questions and concerns, although I thank you for bringing them up as we go along. If I'm saying something and you have a question, just raise your hand. We'll take care of that around the spot.
Can you tell me again, the adjacent areas to your building?
Yes, we have, Kyle has a map for everything.
Maybe better than
Yeah. Yeah. There are all the properties. One of the maps we must produce for a zoning change application like this is we must identify each property by lot number. Yeah. And then land management researches the owner of the lot number, and every one of the owners within 500 feet gets a certified mail invitation to that first public hearing. That first public hearing. And we do this all over Guam. Sometimes, like we just did a change of zone in the middle of Tuluni, like behind Morocco there, and that 500 feet covered all those condominiums around there, right? We had like 600 certified mail invitations that went out, because in condominiums, you own it, right? You're a property owner, you get a letter. If it's an apartment, you do not get a letter. The apartment owner gets a letter. But here, we had maybe, what do you think, 30 or 40, 50?
I think 81.
81, here we had 81. That was for the first one. So we don't do the mail outs like that. That all goes to land management. We pay for their time and we pay for the certified mail postage, of course. They handle.
So your surrounding areas, those are residential, right?
Yes, okay. So, yeah, you can see the white rooftops, right? There are residential here, and those are vacant, but there, and this is all vacant as well. Exactly.
Currently, they're vacant, but they may want to build it.
Absolutely. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
I have a question, sir.
Yeah.
How many staff do you have to
How many what?
staff?
Seven.
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 Maintenance?
Seven in all, right. I suspect, and I talked to the Kramers haven't been in the warehouse business before, right? But talking to them, they expect it to probably go up to 10 to 12. Yeah, 10 to 12. Because there's just more traffic directing and more administration and management when you have more products coming in, especially if they sublease.
Is that another question? Because on the side of the road, actually, they can do the maintaining, like the guardrails and then. In fact, this 2 days ago, we had to cut off the common on the guardrails because it was blocking the view. And that's wondering if the green.
Where's the target?
That's where the arrows.
There?
Down. We just had that place to clean up.
Where's the guardrail?
Where the arrow?
Where the arrow? Okay.
Yes. So we did maintenance in that side. That's where we maintenance, ammo, maintenance.
Okay.
We are studying just
Okay.
yesterday. So is any way that you're part and you do that?
here is the perfect part of public hearings, and this is the part I love. This is a neighbor. This is a neighbor that's asking for something, frankly, right? Okay? This is a neighbor that wants to be a good neighbor. We just need to know these things, right? We need to know these things.
Right.
And I've talked to Mr. Kramer personally about these things, and I said, his name is Jerry. Assan's a very small village. They do things together, right? They're going to ask for some things. I said, when they ask for some things, I'm telling you right now, Jerry, I'm going to say yes. Yeah, I'm going to say yes. So Mary, if you could just, I'll get with you later, okay, just to get it specifically, right? Now, we've already been looking into, from the first public hearing, taking care of those roots that have come out into the road, right? And we have a couple of quotes, and for sure, they're gonna take care of that. We have to take care of the roots that come out and then make the asphalt go up. So it's more than just taking on the roots, we have to replace the asphalt as well, okay? That's why we're dealing with Hawaiian Rock for that, because they do it anyway. We're doing that. Another thing that we have bids out on and requests for proposals is to clean out the ponding basin. Yeah, we call it scarify it, take the weeds out of it, and we break up the surface down to about 12 inches or so. And the third thing we're doing is we're arranging for roving patrol, because that was a request by one of the neighbors that she walks her dog.
Yes.
Yeah.
Walks around, yes.
Yeah. Hello.
I'm so sorry, I thought it was at 6.
Yeah, it's okay. I said you were coming too. Everybody, this is Melissa. Melissa Crane. She's the general manager. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for coming. Yeah, no, it's all good. Yeah, it's all good. Good. I know you've heard it before. There should be nothing here that's a surprise to you. Yeah, absolutely, Mayor. I'll sit down with you to make sure I fully understand.
This is a verification that, safety
Absolutely.
and safety.
Yeah, absolutely. I like it, yeah.
So that number 13, is that a house there? Or?
That is.
That's a red-
Yes, it is.
that's okay.
Is that the one that?
No, that's,
It's a young, yeah,
Mrs. Lutiaco's,
this is.
That's Luciano.
Yeah.
Yes.
Japanese lady.
Yeah.
That's when we purchased the house?
Right next to number 12.
Yeah, okay, Kramer's own 12.
Right, and then number 14 actually is abandoned. That's a loan apartment.
And
That's
what?
what she's the job to
Apartment.
apartment.
Oh, yeah, right,
Most
that's,
of them are,
that's all part.
That whole area.
Yeah, that's all
and in
part.
fact, when they clean up, they get.
Yeah.
I have a question. Will the additional building going up, would that have an impact on the surrounding, because it's only the surrounding area that we should be, concerned about.
Well, the proposed building will go here.
Okay,
Again, it's a maybe if.
that's it, that was,
On
that
the first
was
one
the
there.
first meeting that I missed.
It was, right.
Yeah, I was just looking.
Yes, yeah, okay, you told her, yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering if she was here.
Yeah.
And the proposed building is within the footprint of the property.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, see here?
It's just within the.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's our property line.
Yes.
It used to be like, now the new law is 40 feet from, if you're building a road, access road is 40 feet.
The 40, in a subdivision, we call it the right-of-way width, or the easement width is 40 feet. And that 40 feet easily accommodates 2 wide travel ways.
It's really too big.
Yeah, no, you're right. Two travel lanes, and then a sidewalk, right? And some drainage, curb and gutter, things like that. That fits nicely in 40 feet. In an agricultural zone, it's 50 feet. That required. That's right.
Okay, so once you go to the process of the community
Yes.
approve it.
Yes.
We can't do that until we approve, then you go to the land use.
Well, here's how it works. Yeah, here's how it works. The law says that we do this Department of Land Management municipal public hearing. Our case planner is the hearing. Then we go to 2 hearings before the Municipal Planning Council. This is number 1. In those 2 hearings, the mayor is the hearing officer, right? And then after those 2 hearings, the Planning Council meets at a regular meeting, whatever that is, your regular meeting, and one item on the agenda must say, request for change of zone by Diamond, so that it is an official. And then you're required, the Municipal Planning Council is required to draft a resolution. And the law says that resolution can either, it's only recommendation to the commission. Recommendation can either recommend approval with conditions, which is like right now we're talking about conditions, or recommend disapproval. Right? And then that's a recommendation that goes to the Guam Land Use Commission, right? And then they take into consideration, and then they make the decision. It's not bound by the resolution, but it's taken into full consideration, and always does. Always does. Almost every, for me at least, every resolution from the Municipal Planning Council, and Kyle and I have done dozens of these, is rarely straight approval. It's almost always a condition like fix the, something like that, and the things that we picked up in the first one. Good questions.
Okay, so, I think the commission, the FPC has to, deliberate so we can
Yes.
really, I mean, this is the time to set those conditions.
Yes.
I don't suggest that we just table this. As long as we comply with the,
We must have one more public hearing. We must have one more public hearing announced in the paper, et cetera. Right, and just take care of that. That will be next Thursday. That will be next Thursday at like
5:30.
5:30.
Yes, what's that for tomorrow, but in case.
Yeah, right, thank you. And then at 6 o'clock, is the scheduled regular meeting for the Municipal Planning Council. That's where the deliberation will take place. And Kyle and I will be there. Here's what I found out. Municipal planning, this is different. It's different. You're right. Municipal planning councils, the members rarely come to the hearing number 1 and hearing number 2. They rarely do. I mean, that's just a fact of life. So what happens is then, we go to the regular meeting, and then boom, we come down to the agenda and we get to the resolution. And those municipal planning council members say, I don't know what's going on, I just don't know. This always happens. This is why Kyle and I come set up just like this, because the regular meeting turns into another public hearing presentation. And it's fine, because this won't work unless the municipal planning council members understand it, right? Now, this is different, because you have council members that come to this. It's not usually the case.
She's the one that mentioned the last time, she said earlier in the resolution.
Oh, good. So, but I understand you don't have a lot of these public hearings for.
No, but we just have one recently.
First time we ran this.
as needed, actually.
Yeah.
But
If you're not the first one that came for a rezoning, so it's not, we could probably be the second or third
Third,
one.
I think.
okay.
Yeah, for a rezoning.
Okay.
But this is the advantage of the first.
Yeah. Right. Well, this is good. That's why we're working closely with the mayor, with Jerry, on this sort of thing. We go to some regular meetings for municipal planning council where there's four or five GLUC matters.
Well, we can make this a win-win situation because we want.
Please,
Set a
please, yes,
condition.
absolutely.
And what you want locked in
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay?
We like to work with
Exactly.
the community also.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so if you don't mind, anybody have questions? Okay, anybody have questions?
Any questions?
Yeah,
Okay,
I personally feel it could be a win-win situation. Nobody's gonna bark, at with something that will benefit the
Yes.
community.
I think
So,
so.
so we still need to, to deliberate and see what we want.
Yes, please do,
what we can-
yeah, please do. You may want to wait for that deliberation until after the second public hearing.
Okay,
You may want to, Mary, because
yes,
other people might come, right, to the second and, I mean, honestly, Kyle and I go to public. Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, you got good input already, right? Yeah. Kyle and I go to some public hearings, so there's 50 people there, and we look out and there's like 10 people with their hand in the air, I want to say something. So, but at the end, everybody gets a chance to say it, right? And then there's planning council members and the mayor get to hear it, and then we put together that resolution.
okay. On the next public hearing, because it's, should involve the residents. Of course, are you gonna pay for the, notice?
It's ready to use.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, yeah, those notices were sent to the first one,
Okay.
exactly.
Thank you.
And yes, and we can, so
So what about the one next week? Do we have to notify the public?
Yes.
well, we notify the public through the newspaper, yeah, and through the GLUC website. And if you have, an account or a website or something.
We just have a
That's
village,
YouTube.
we have a village WhatsApp.
And the YouTube. And YouTube, right, and it will be a new, as this one is too. Right.
So because we wanna make sure, we did make the outreach effort to the residents.
Yes,
And
of
if you
course.
want to know,
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. I totally get it. Listen, I've been in planning for over 50 years. That's what my degree is in. Public transparency is the number one criteria, right? No surprises. We put it all out and we work together, right? Good neighbors, right? My client, particularly Kramer, is a really good neighbor, okay? I frankly, I don't take bad clients and bad neighbors, so absolutely. This is the way it should work. I think. Yeah. This is the way it should work.
But I'd like to say that, sorry, I keep standing there, but fine, this is our second meeting regarding the Kramer's proposal.
Yes.
I mean, the way I look at it, I don't see any negative impacts on the community. It's to me like a good project.
Well, thank you.
And
It's gonna, trucks and vans are gonna go, any trucks and vans are gonna go out, just the way it has always been, right? But, things come up, like the tree roots, this and that, and,
We've been here for many years, there was no.
Yeah, yeah.
There's been some,
yeah, good,
it's nothing.
good.
Sure, I mean, because you're probably, I don't know if you're new into that building there, but, several times with a big rainstorm or anything, that we put at the loading dock there, is always flooded.
The
You
loading
see
dock.
that whole, yes.
Yeah, I don't,
The water's all this side.
does your loading dock flood sometimes?
Yeah.
Yeah,
When it's really, when it's
Just a
really
little.
hard,
yeah.
We have a pump there, but, last week they said it wasn't working, so then this week.
Okay, yeah, this is an operational issue. Man, I worked, I did the Kmart job, and I told those guys, do not have your loading dock in a place where you have to back down into it, because it's gonna fill with water. Oh, no, this is Kmart, we built 3,000 stores, we know how to do it, They can't even get close to that loading dock when it rains. It's a swimming pool.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a swimming pool. So this is something operational we have to, good point. So what happens next is, next Thursday, there'll be another public hearing like this, and a regular meeting, and then your resolution, and I'll help with the resolution. I have a template that most mayor's offices use, and you just fill in the blanks, right? And then after your resolution is signed, and submitted to land manager, then they will schedule Guam Land Use Commission. So I suspect we'll get to the Guam Land Use Commission a few weeks after next week, a few weeks after your regular meeting.
No.
Mayor, that's all I have, unless there's
So
something
we'll
else.
take you on that, to the, draft.
Yes,
So that after everything is considered.
every mayor's office
and,
does.
there are
Sure,
sure.
sure.
You want something
Yeah.
included.
Good, yeah. You know, there's this whereas and therefore, so forth, things like that. Yeah, I have a done, but also.
And then we will,
Okay, so, the next meeting is on the hearings next week, Thursday, what time, sir? 6 o'clock?
I think it's at 5
5 o'clock. 5 o'clock. And what time?
Oh, yes, it's early because the regular meeting's at 6.
Anytime, fine. Okay, I make that motion to,
It's a motion to,
I make that motion 5 o'clock on August
15.
15th, 5 p.m.
15.
Yes,
and motion to adjourn.
that's Thursday.
Okay,
Okay,
I did.
And get seconded.
Okay,
okay, motion to adjourn.
okay, so, shall we go for it? All those at once in another meeting on this hearing.
Well,
August 15th, yes,
Yes, because it's already paid off for this week, it's this.
all right,
So,
yes.
if I was to make a motion to
Yes.
adjourn the meeting. That is what we're doing.
I make that motion to, close the meeting.
Okay, thank you, Dave.
Absolutely.
6:14.
Meeting adjourned.
Thank you. Thank you all. Good.
How's it going?
Democracy in action.
How's it going?
Smith Bridge.